Welcome back to Just a Printer. My parts arrived for the Rosback 220. I got 2 sets of spanner wrenches here, 2 perf wheels, and the rebuild kit for the feeder rollers. So let's see if we can't get this thing running again. Okay, so I got 2 different styles of perf wheels. You can actually get 3 different styles: micro perf, knife cut perf, and punch perf. So the knife cut looks like this. It's ground to an edge. So there's a cutting edge that you line up with the edge of the lower anvil. The punch perf actually goes between 2 lower anvils. So it punches down and actually punches out a little piece of paper, and then what's called a chad comes out. So there's a hole, an actual hole, whereas the other perf, it just makes a slit, a cut. So I've always used the cutting style, the knife perf, on the MBO. So I'm kind of eager to try out this style as well. So we'll give them both a try at some point. Okay, let's see what all came in this kit. Okay, so all these parts are going to be right in this area. So we're going to take this plate off, and then somehow this mechanism is going to lift out, and we should be able to take that bolt out and replace this roller as well. Well, that was easy. Alright, so I see a set screw right there that this shaft will probably come out, and then I can pull that roller out. It's an interesting design. There's like a knurled metal roller in between. It's on springs that drives the 2. I'm assuming I'm going to have to take this lower shaft out to replace the big one. Oh, look at that. There's a notch cut out of the wood over here. So we need to push that out the opposite direction. And that one's out. So this wheel here is on like a one-way of some sort, and it does move a little bit back and forth. So I'm assuming there's no set screws on this, and this carriage, or whatever it's called, seems to be fastened to the shaft back below here. So I think that shaft will slide out this way. Gotta take this cover off, and I see in here there's a collar with a set screw. So I think if I take that set screw off, take the chain off the gear over here, we'll get her out. I'm just gonna put that on there so I remember the correct orientation for that. So here's the shaft and collar inside. There's just one set screw on here. Okay, there's a slight bevel on this edge. I could probably file it down, but I made the decision to bring it out this way instead of that way. On this side, it's nice and clean, so I think it'll slide through better. I guess I gotta take this off to get the roller up then. Oh. You don't even have to loosen those. Just take it off the top here. Maybe not. Yeah, you do. But now how to pull those pins out without hurting them. Okay, so here's all my before and after parts. This was the original wheel, and that was really worn. And in all reality, this is probably the only wheel that I needed to replace. But might as well do it all. Looks like we have some sort of mechanism here to take these 4 Allens out, and it'll probably, I'm assuming that will release tension, and then we'll be able to slip the new wheel onto here. Don't forget when you put this roller in that the screws from that are on this side, because this is a one-way, so it should be able to spin in the direction of the paper and not this way. So that means when the gear is turning it, but if it goes backwards, it won't spin it. It'd be a shame to put that in the wrong way. Put it all back together and it doesn't run paper. See how I did. I always get a little nervous the first time we're turning her back on after I had it apart. I mean, I don't have any leftover parts. They've all been used, so it's probably good. Nothing sounds bad. It all looks good. See if it'll feed paper. And actually, before I forget, before I go much further, I want to just put a little more oil at these shafts because I had them apart. And when you put this top wheel in, make sure you tighten this up nice and tight because this wheel shouldn't spin on its own. It needs to be stationary there. It works under the exact same way the tabletop AB Dick does, except it's upside down. On that folder, the feed wheel's on top and there's a stationary roller underneath it. Here, the feed wheels are on the bottom and there's a stationary roller on top. And that, if that spins, it'll just pull paper through like crazy. But this not spinning, basically it creates a brake that stops that second sheet from moving forward until the one underneath it moves past, and then the paper drops down, and then the next one feeds, and the next one feeds. So let's give this thing a whirl. That's a beautiful thing. That's fun. All right. That is exciting. So now that we know it feeds here, and just to show you how I set up, all I did was put this in here and crank down until you get a little bit of friction. And that sets the gap here for that roller. So now that it feeds, let's take this perf wheel out that is all janky, and let's put a new perf wheel in there. I'm gonna put the slot type one in, and that's what's in there now, just because I haven't used one of those before and I'd like to see what it looks like. So I got a pair of spanner wrenches here. There's a separate pair of spanner wrenches for the bottom. Just needed a little bit to get it started. I'm kind of curious to see what this thing looks like because I think it's beat. Check that thing out. That does not pass quality control. And this is the replacement. Now this is a 12 tooth per inch. And I'm assuming this one's probably 8 tooth per inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, or thereabout. So maybe I should have got an 8 TPI. But we'll see how this one works. Certainly a lot better than that one. I don't know if you noticed too, these perf wheels have a slit, so you don't have to pull the whole shaft out. You can just crack them and slip them over top of the shaft. And then put this back together. Okay, so if you're not familiar with these machines, right here there's an adjustment, and you turn that counterclockwise to loosen it, and then you see there's numbers here, and this is on a cam against this roller, and it moves that roller up and down. He goes 4, 3, 2, 1, and then P. If you're going to be doing perforating, it needs to be on the P, and that means it's all the way down. But then if you're doing, text weight score, if you're doing like a lightweight cover to a really heavy cover score, you can change the depth of your scoring rollers there. As I loosen the Allen that locks this perf wheel so that the perf blade can slide back and forth if it needs to. And then I looked in here and I slowly turned that and lowered the perf wheel into that bottom anvil. And then once I have it in there, then you can just, spin it a full time, and that should align this blade with the anvil underneath it. Then you just tighten her up. You should be good to go. Maiden voyage of perfing. Oh yes. Look at that. That is sweet. It punches little holes out. Nice. Well, there you have it. If you're thinking about buying one of these, or if you bought one and you want to give it a little bit of a facelift like I did, that's how you do it. So I have a pile of old parts here that, probably would have worked, but it's nice to just take that all out of the equation This obviously would not have worked at all, but I have an extra perf wheel here, and you know, now I'm excited for my first job to run on this thing. It's gonna do a nice job. So I'm gonna leave it on the pallet for now, and then just put it in the warehouse for now. I'm not exactly sure where I want to put it. You know, there is some space, you know, out here by the 6500, but the reality is hopefully still looking to get another machine in here. So, and I'm not going to be using this every day, not even every week, so it's no big deal just to wheel it back in here. If I get into the habit of doing that, I'll take it off this pallet and weld up some casters on the bottom of it so I can just wheel it in and out of here. But hey, I'm tickled. Didn't know exactly what I was getting into. It's the first time I've ever ran one of these, and you know, it seems like it's really going to be nice. I mean, it fed real well. I might just have to run a bunch more scrap through it just to get my jollies before I put it back. And if there's anybody out there that has some tips or anything they'd like to tell a first-time 220 user, you know, let me know. I'm all ears. Anything that I should look out for, or anything that will help me be a good operator with this, let me know in the comments. Well, thanks for watching. As always, take care. We'll catch you on the next one. If I'm gonna have trouble running anything, it's gonna be gloss and lightweight. So let's run some 80-pound gloss text. I'm feeling lucky. Holy cats. It only pulled one. Oh my goodness. Yes.